everyone, and welcome to another episode of Behind the Screen. I am Jason Azevedo, your host as usual, and tonight we are going back to the old format a little bit. I don't have somebody guesting with us tonight because I want an opportunity to do a Q&A session for all things RealmSmith. So anything to do with the ongoing Tides of Wildemount campaign, anything to do with the upcoming or previous Into the Mist campaigns, anything about D&D or RealmSmith or anything that we do. This is our opportunity to kind of chat with you guys and answer some questions. And just hang out for an hour. Couple quick announcements before we start going here. The first announcement is that Thursday we will have the Players Table with Joel Auger. On Sunday we will have Nolzer's Marvelous Tutorials, and that will be a special Father's Day edition where I will have my son joining me at the table to paint a miniature. And that is going to be a lot of fun, and I'm very excited about that, and it means a lot. Which will be awesome. And then, of course, Monday will be episode 12 of Tides of Wildemount. That is the second last episode before the finale of this season. It's been incredible, and I just want to thank everyone for making it so special during the last 3 months. It has been incredible, and then, of course, we'll be on to Curse of Straw. If you have a question tonight, make sure that you write question in big caps before you ask it, and our awesome mods, Shad and Prometheus Bound, will be taking those questions down for me and putting them in the Discord here, but I do have my eyes on the chat as well, so I will be seeing all your comments and all of the chatter, which is lots right now. There's tons of people watching. Thank you so much, guys, for all of that. All right, bring up the questions here. And I just want to give two announcements. First off, it is Dave's birthday. That is RealmSmith_Dave. It is his birthday. He plays Bacalhau on our Tides of Wildemount stream, so shower him with birthday messages on his Instagram posts and all of that stuff tonight. I will be posting a happy birthday Dave thing tonight, which will be super fun. So happy birthday, hit him. And also we have some new moderators that are joining us for our Twitch and for our Discord channels. And we are so happy to have them along for this wonderful ride that we are on. It is so much fun and has been so great. And again, we thank you all. If you are interested and you like what you are seeing here, and Shad, if you can just post the new mods in the chat for those at home that don't know who they are, you can post their names so that we can all welcome them in the chat. And if you like what you see here, consider following and subscribing at either Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, or your Twitch Prime subscriptions. You don't pay anything to join, and it helps us do what we do, and it's including in your Twitch Prime subscription. So you can do that. This isn't working as it usually should. I forgot again to initiate it because it will glow different if you start to follow us or you subscribe. Part of me wants to, I'm going to run and fix it real quick because it's such a cool thing. And it's not very often that we have a scene or a wide shot for these. So I am just quickly going to initiate it, which I need to remember to do every time. There we go. And so now, if you follow or you subscribe, if you follow, it will blink once purple. If you subscribe, it'll blink multiple times blue, as well as if you spend bits, it will also blink multiple times blue. And if you subscribe, you're entered into the Revelry, which is our private Discord community where we have literally hundreds of pirates right now talking in pirate speak and just enjoying role-playing in our Discord. You will also go on quests and doing a bunch of other fun, awesome things. So you can check that out. Our fabulous new mods are Deacon Blues Hamilton, Jazzfall, Scuba Studio, and Sidafar. You guys are amazing, and we thank you for that. It's amazing. You can tell how happy and how well our community is thriving because we need so many more mods to be able to do what we do, and we are just so thankful for all of that. Okay, well, tons of comments here. Holy crap. Lots and lots and lots of comments. So we'll start at the top, and we'll start going through. You said you love that Jason can say it right, Sidfar. Is it Sidfar or Sidfar? I said it both ways, so I'm not sure which one is the right one. But welcome to the Smith Guardians, as we call our moderators. All right. Also, I want... all I'm going to say is leading up to the finale, make sure that all of you get your bits fingers ready again, because the time is coming. You won't know any more information as we get closer, but get your bits fingers ready, because it's going to be a blast again. And we are... You thought that the finale of Into the Mist was a hell of a time, and in super interactive. Just wait till you see what we have in store for the finale of Into the Mist. Okay, here we go. Bits. Okay, questions. Here we go. Okay, so these first 3 questions are from a couple weeks ago, because I didn't get to them, and I will answer these, and then we'll go on to the new questions from today. If Diarchel is continually placed in the brig during the adventure, how difficult would it be for her as a player and character to be active in this campaign? She won't be placed in the brig. She is now, obviously, as we know, this is an older question. She has been now welcomed in the party and is a functioning member of the party as a whole. So, she is good to go. If the party wanted Diarchel dead for betrayal, how would the captain punish her? Probably by just throwing her overboard. Despite all of good Diarchel did in combat, why does the captain have so much beef against Diarchel? Because she actually told the Clovis Concord where they were, and she was a double agent. Not double agent, she was just a spy for the Clovis Concord, and cost many lives on the Clovis side, which cost now a price on a lot of the... a higher price on the pirates' heads. Being that the party still favors Diarchel to be part of the campaign, the captain does not. How will you, Jason, deal with this conflict? We've done it, and they've split ways. So the Wave Chaser has gone on its way, and the players have gone on their way. Oh, and that is how we have dealt with that. Now that the rod is obtained, would you think that the word would get out to the Clovis Concord about the whereabouts of the rod? Maybe. We'll find out. Should Diarchel betray the party anyways, after all that has happened, what would the captain might say to the party in response to a betrayal? Again, the captain's no longer around, so it would be the party that would have to deal with it at this point. Pirates' alignments are usually, I would say, it really depends. You can have pirates of all different alignments. We have had pirates of all different alignments, but I would say neutral for the most part, or chaotic good. So the idea is they might believe in the greater good, kind of like Robin Hood would be chaotic good, because he believes in the greater good, but he decides what that good is. So it's not according to the law, it's according to what he thinks, or even neutral good. Might make sense too. Gaziel prayed for snow before battle. Does this affect any encounters? DM decisions, did the prayer have any effect on anyone in the party? It didn't. But it might in the future. Things like that I want to reward. Anytime a player steps deep into their character and kind of figures something out, I like to reward that as much as possible, so that they do it more. Is it possible for Snow to get his eyesight? If he ever will, would this affect any of his skills? It would affect a lot of his skills. For him to actually get his eyesight back completely, it would take an act of a deity, probably, wish spell, something pretty powerful. Or a reincarnation spell might do it. But the idea is, and what he's been promised, is through his echo, maybe one day he can see through his echo. So there's that. All right, we're into the new questions for tonight. This is from Noobanidis. I am wondering if Jamedi Costco, I can never remember the correct spelling, might make an appearance. Jamedi. Maybe Jamedi will. We like to bring NPCs in from Critical Role. From time to time, you will see more and more as the campaign goes forward. But not too many more by the end of this season. We're nearing a couple episodes, and we're in a kind of small area till the end, so you may not see many more this season, but next season for sure. Kohalith123 question. I know this was still in the works last time I asked, but will there be a new Discord campaign for the Into the Mist return? New characters and such for fans and players. Last night, Josh, Julian, and I were devising some ideas of how we might do that. So we've been working on it for a while, but we're starting to finalize some ideas of what Discord subscribers will get as perks for the Into the Mist campaign. That is much like the Revelry on the Wildemount side. Stay tuned. In the next couple weeks, you'll hear more, and it's going to be really exciting. What can you tell us about COS Concord Discord wise? There it is. So the idea here is that we are trying to find a way to get you guys integrated into the world that the players are in per season. I think that that's where the value is, that you guys get to interact in the same world the players are. So the current concept is that, should I even say it? This is an inside scoop. So I will tell you this. The current concept is that the Revelry kind of gets possibly put on hold because you don't want to continue to progress time when the players aren't around, because then that breaks all kinds of continuity. And then we start something else, which I won't say what it is yet. Then we start something else for the next 3 months for Into the Mist that will have all that kind of stuff happening. And it's going to be great. I'm very excited about it. There's some fun things coming together. So that's all I will say. Afiner says, Happy Father's Day, Jason. Thank you very much. I got my 3-year-old into Magic the Gathering. Fantasy RPGs are a great way to spend time as a family. They really are. My son is into D&D, but he's more into the mini painting. So that's why he's going to sit with me for Nolzers on Sunday night. We're going to paint together. And that'll be a heck of a lot of fun. Simon1960 asks, do we know what will happen to the online players after the season ends, or are you telling yet? Like I said, you guys will find out soon. We do have something in store. It's going to be wonderful. But like I said, we want to make sure that it's interactive with the stream that's happening. I think that's the value there. I think that's really the fun part. And so we'll continue down that path. Trobe19, Jason, how did you feel the Grung battle was very involved? How did you feel the Grung battle was very involved? Yes. So I'm assuming you're asking, how did I feel about the Grung battle? It went well, I think. I think the whole episode flowed really nicely. They took way too long. I don't want to say way too long. They took longer than I expected in the camp part of it at the beginning. There were some hijinks and some fun. But I think you probably, from what I understand, the chat was really active during that time. You guys really enjoyed all the player interaction. I think that's incredibly important. Anytime there's roleplay, I let it go, because I think that interacting as players makes this world real. And I never want to take that away from anybody. So that was a big one. And so that was incredibly important. And I think that when it got to the battle, things moved quickly. Everybody rolled quick. Damage happened quick. There was some creativity with kind of singing and trying to persuade. I think they learned their lesson about playing music going into an unknown area. Maybe not. You never know. And I tried to play the Grung quick, and they went down fairly quickly, which is good, but they did lots of damage too. So I think it went really well. You finished the Wildemount adventure, but still on Twinward Isle set in the book. Are you purely designing the adventure from the 2 paragraphs written about this location, or inspired from any other modules or adventures? I literally take the seed. So for Twinward specifically, I read what was available in Twinward, in the book, and all of the stuff there, so that a lot of the story that's happening is alluded to in the Explorer's Guide to Wildemount, but it isn't fleshed out. So I took what it alludes. I watched episodes of Critical Role or did research online to find out what they have maybe done or have revealed about an area, and I'll do that going forward. Then I'll pull in NPCs, I'll pull little plot hooks, I'll pull little references and things like that in there to kind of flesh it out. Because again, it's important to us to make it feel like they're living in the same world as the Mighty Nine and during the same time period. And yeah, but the rest was made up by myself. The temple, what's on the island, the encounters, the creatures, all of that was pretty much homebrewed based on the Wildemount info. Gary Diamonds, Captain, asks, will Grigori be back for season 2 of Into the Mist? I don't think we can do Into the Mist without Grigori. And so he will be back. I don't know into what capacity or how it's going to work yet, but he will be back. And you guys love Grigori, so he needs to be there. Swanky to the Max, that's a good name, asks, might this campaign come to a second season? If so, when? Yes, so as it stands right now, our current plan is to go Wildemount for 3 months, then Into the Mist for a little longer because we want to go to Halloween. We'll come back to Wildemount again for a while, for 13 episodes or so, and we'll go back and forth between these two until we feel that one of them is losing steam or we want to take a break, and then we'll establish a new setting that we want to do. But basically, we're taking a seasonal approach, just like a Netflix show or any sort of other show, that we will go back and forth from time to time. Also, I can't hear it, but Sirenscape is playing in the background. That is our dungeon crawl set from our title sponsor, Sirenscape. If you go to sirenscape.com/RealmSmith and then search for RealmSmith in the search bar, you'll see all of our sound sets come up, and the one that we're playing is a mood from the dungeon crawl. And hopefully it's not too loud. Let me know if it's too loud in the background here, but it's really good, and it was done by Brandon Perkins. Riggs17842 says, why not cast an improved Cure Blindness spell or Cure Blindness just cast at a higher level on Snow? That might happen. The problem is that he wasn't blinded by a effect. He was born that way. So his eyes aren't necessarily even potentially built for sight because he's never seen. So that might not solve it, but that's a good question. Night Road, as a DM, what is your approach to Wild Magic Surge? Some DMs always call for the roll, others hate it. I would call for the roll. I love it. I love randomness, craziness. I'm all about it. All about it. Roman Wolf asks, how involved are you with Critical Role? So what happens here becomes real for both RealmSmith and CR. That's complicated, super complicated. So we obviously have Matt's blessing for our stream, and I've spoken to Matt about a number of things that happen here and things that we're planning on for the future. I will tell you that Critical Role will affect us. I don't know if it will affect Critical Role. We're kind of a secondary sort of fun experience in the world. So yeah, I'm not sure how much it'll go both ways. But for sure, Critical Role will affect us. But I can't speak for Matt. At least not. That would be the ultimate dream come true. But you never know. You never know what the future holds. Okay. Another question from Roman Wolf. So if this group gets an spoiler orb, will there be a one-shot with the Mighty Nine? It's a good question. That would also be another dream come true. You never know. I have told Matt Mercer that we won't include any of the main characters of the Mighty Nine unless we're actually able to play with those players at the table. So that might, or those characters at the table. So that might happen. You never know what the future could hold. But for as of right now, that won't happen unless we're sitting at the same table. Rabbit Descent asks, will we have more guitar solos and singing? Yes, there are lots. Joel is incredibly musically talented, and so he will continue to sing. Falfer is not a bard, so you won't get music from Falfer too much, but Plunk Rock, absolutely. And the Grung As You Are song last night was amazing. It's hilarious. And he is absolutely... I've asked him to continue to do that sort of thing. It was great. And we created a clip of it, and I named the episode after it. So that's how much I love that stuff. All right. Make sure I didn't miss any here. So many questions tonight. It's great. Will you be posting episodes 3 to 7 of Order of Dragon's Bane on YouTube? Yes. So I'm sorry it fell off a bit. Things have been crazy. We're trying to sort out our box business and everything. With all of the pandemic stuff, it's really affected that business quite negatively. So we're trying to pull everything together and make a sense of the mess, which is why we're behind on some of those things. But I absolutely plan on doing that soon. Maybe even tonight I'll start to upload for Thursday for another show, for another premiere. So I apologize, guys, and we'll get that up as soon as possible. That was from Mazmes 1988. Ket Matari, usual, thank you. You are a regular. A regular. Hi, Jason. Hope all is well. It is. So is Ukatoa a titan, elemental power like in the temple, or is he one of the betrayer gods? According to the source material and according to Matt Mercer's Mind and Critical Role, Ukatoa is a lesser idol. And he was the mount of one of the betrayer gods. That's all I'll say there. I don't want any spoilers. And for those of you that have the Tides of Wildemount campaign book, we'll be able to look that up and find out more about Ukatoa. But he is not a god. He is an idol, and was the mount of one of the betrayer gods. All right. Roman Wolf asks, what was the driving forces behind playing 2 campaigns? So there's a couple things that we considered. One was it's great for our players to have something refreshed. It's good for me as a DM to not have to do the same thing forever. That there's an end. Our cast can commit to that amount of time, and then if we change casts, then we change casts between seasons, whatever the case. It is more manageable from a resource perspective and from a interest perspective and a writing perspective, even for me. So I need that creative break. That was one thing. The other thing is because Critical Role keeps going and going and going. We all love it, but to catch up on it is really daunting. So we thought, hey, if we do a 3-month period, then that gives everybody else the next 3 months to catch up on Tides before the next Tide season. And it's given everybody the opportunity to catch up on Into the Mist during Wildemount. So that was a lot of it. The other thing is that we want to also make sure that we can kind of day in day address and be a part of the D&D releases that come out. So Wildemount came out, we were like, you know what, this is a great opportunity to support that and push that and evangelize Wildemount for the D&D audience. And Curse of Strahd was something that I loved and I really wanted to be a part of. So it just gives us the opportunity to kind of do that bite-sized, and it builds anticipation for the next season, all of that kind of stuff. Those are the main reasons why. At what point of Crit Roll's campaign is this happening in the timeline? That is a great question from Duh107. Right now, I have it all written out. We have a timeline written out, but this is basically, I believe we decided a month or two before. I don't want to say to mess it up. Tides of Wildemount occurs, so the book, source book, is supposed to occur around episode 40, I believe, and they're around in Darktoe at that point. So when our players were in Darktoe, we are, I forget offhand, and I can't look it up here, but we are currently where the Mighty Nine are, is where we just were. Does that make sense? So we're just slightly behind their storyline by a couple months, I believe, in the timeline. And that's in-game timeline. How about singing from you was a follow-up question. Maybe you might get some more singing into the Mist. Who knows? Maybe some Vistani. I appreciate you saying that, but I will absolutely do more singing. This is my opportunity. I don't have my band anymore, so this is kind of my opportunity to spread my wings that way. David Bastiansen asks, do you use safety tools in your streams? If so, can you discuss what those look like? I need to understand what safety tools mean. Do you mean like safe words and things like that for the players? Or do you mean like, yeah, I'd like to know what you mean. So just if you could re-ask that a little later in the episode, that'd be great, or now, and I'll get to that because I'd like to answer that question. Did the activation of the water orb in the temple go as planned, or was the red color showing something off? Frankly, as a DM, you play with what you have. The water orb, I'll show it to you guys. The water orb, which is in this, it's a little far, which was in this alcove, goes red. And it's got like tentacles around it. The reason I wanted it to be red, usually what you do is you play with what you have, and this is what we have at the table. And I will bend the narrative to match what we have at the table so that it makes sense, right? You make anything up, it's D&D. So in my case, it was like it's red because of Uk'otoa and the kind of, you would expect it to be watercolored. I didn't have something that was watercolored for that. So it was my like daunting sort of blood in the water kind of analogy that I described it as. Gary Diamonds asked, are your allergies feeling better? I hope you're doing well. I am still stuffed up. You can probably hear it in my voice. I am on meds for allergies, like just regular allergy meds, which make me kind of tired. But I am feeling well other than that. Thank you, Gary, for asking. All right, another question from Swanky to the Max. They win for the best name today. What chance percentage might you give the group being at the same table for the final episode this season? I'm, at this point, going to give it a 60-40 chance. There's a 60% chance that they will be at the table all together for the finale. That is what I'm saying right now is the possibility. I can't wait to get everybody around the table. It's incredibly important to me, and it's kind of central to what RealmSmith does, so we want to get everybody around the table as soon as possible. Leah C. I'm the learned. That's what I'm going to say. Is it possible for a Spelljammer ship to be in your game? I guess so. Don't know a lot about Spelljammer, but I know the Githyanki, I believe, are part of the Spelljamming campaign, and I believe they travel the multiverse, so why not? I imagine they probably could. It's a good question. Kit Matari. Are any RealmSmithers going to appear in D&D Live this week? I saw Matthew Lillard on the teaser. Anything else you can tell us? I can tell you that we're not. D&D decided to go a different route because of Red Nose Day and kind of a celebrity approach. So we will not be involved in D&D Live, but I will be watching a lot because I am very excited about it and a huge fan of everybody that is playing. So it is 100% supported by RealmSmith and our crew. Like X cards and lines and veils. Yes. Okay. So, David Bastian just clarified. So I know there's been a lot of press around that sort of thing, and what they're talking about, folks, is if there is something inappropriate that, as the DM, I say or do, if the players can pull a X card, and it's basically like a no continue, it's a safe word sort of thing, where you just continue to go. For me, if I were playing a campaign or an adventure with people I don't know very well, I would absolutely have that in place. And I guess some of the players, like Christine, I didn't know before this. But we run a pretty PG campaign. There's some things that are a bit over the top, especially in Curse of Strahd. But we stay away from some serious stuff. We have talked about topics. I before we started playing Into the Mist, I said, guys, this is a very dark campaign. Is there anything we want to stay away from? And one of the things that we are all very much on the same page was staying away from suicide. And he talked about suicide, things like that, because it's close to our hearts because of Todd and so on. So there was a part where there was a hangman's noose in one of the sessions, and it was off color. I didn't feel comfortable talking about it, so I left it out. And some of you may have noticed that in Into the Mist. But other than that, we don't have anything like that in place. And I think it's because I know the guys and the girls so well, that we've been friends for so long, that there is an understanding about content. And I would never want to put them into a place where they're uncomfortable. Now, if they decide they're uncomfortable, I can tell body language that I just need to move on. And I've done that before. And we stay away from certain topics just because, again, we want to be a PG stream, or as PG as possible. So anyways, that's my kind of call on that. We may talk about it just given the current climate and things that have kind of gone on in the industry. But that said, as of right now, we've done it with quite a bit of success. We've run now 4 campaigns and never had an issue with content being a problem or something that somebody wasn't comfortable with. We have had conversations though. We haven't had the X card conversation necessarily, that specific tool, but we absolutely have said one of the players at the table isn't very comfortable with, wasn't comfortable at one point with like fortune telling and things like that. So we had a conversation, and I said there is going to be, but if your character doesn't want to be involved, then don't be involved. Then just make sure that they're not involved in it. So that's how we dealt with it, and we just have open conversations because we're friends. So the conversations absolutely have been had, but we don't currently have any safety measures in place because those conversations have happened beforehand. Okay. Yeah, so Philo is clarifying. A line is a line, a hard limit, something we do not want to cross, and somewhere we don't want to go. There are lots of lines we don't want to go. Suicide's one of them, and there's some others that I don't necessarily, anything to do with. Yeah, I mean, I don't even have to say them. We just know that they're just no-go territory for us. A veil is a pan away or the fade to black moment when we veil something. We're making it a part of the story, but keep it out of the spotlight. I don't see a need for that. If it's not appropriate for the audience, for us, it's not appropriate for our table. And then the X card is cue cards, basically safety tools for scripting. So basically, X card, they would show an X card some way and let me know, no go. But we've never had that issue. Question from Chef Kronos. Will you be making any charters or maybe characters for current or upcoming games using the new Runeterra content? Wildcard and Path of the Depths would be perfect for any coastal campaign. I haven't looked at it actually yet, but I will. Thank you for the suggestion. Rabbit Descent asks, question, if you could choose, would you DM or be a player? I would choose DMing. I love to DM, love building worlds, love playing multiple characters, love bringing people into the story. That is my jam. I do love to play though too. It is a close second. It's a fine line, but DMing is definitely my choice. Or my hobby of choice, I should say. Mazmaz1988. Oh, we're running short on questions now. Wow, I've been flying through them. I don't usually fly through them this fast. Mazmaz1988 says, in some of your previous table games, you had a monitor laid on the table to display digital maps instead of terrain pieces. How did you make that setup work? Any advice, recommendations? Okay. That's a good one. So we haven't used it in a while. It's still under here. That TV is still under the table. That was before our Dwarven Forge sponsorship. So I couldn't really build the mass of terrain pieces that I could before. We may still bring it back, who knows. You may even see it this season, possibly, at some point. But I haven't really seen the need for it yet. I used, and this is very archaic, I used Photoshop to do it, because I could control the layers, I could turn Fog of War on and off, and all of that sort of thing. So for me, Photoshop just made sense because I know Photoshop really well. But that is, you can use Roll20 or anything like that to do it. And basically, I have a laptop here with an HDMI that goes through my table to that. And then the hardest thing, though, is orientation, because it's oriented like twisted. So I'm controlling a monitor like this to a monitor like that. And it's just, it's messy that way. But I kind of figured it out after some time. But yeah, that was pretty complicated at first to kind of figure out how to do that. But I'm excited to potentially use it again this season, closer to the end of the season. That's a little hint. You're all celebrities to us, more like a famous uncle. Thanks, Ken Matari. I like that. I like the idea that we feel like family, and that's what we want here. Like, I never want to get to the point where you guys never hear from us on the Discord or anything like that. That's just something that I'm not on there a lot because you guys are nuts. I love it. You guys are on there all the time, 24/7. It's hard to keep up. But I like to dip in every once in a while and see what's going on and chat and so on. And we didn't do this to become celebrities or to get well known. We did this because we wanted to bring D&D to the masses and show everyone the fun that we have at our table. And that's why we do this. But thank you for saying that, Kit Matari. Kraken Slayer 83 says, whoa, just got a huge influx of questions. Will Christina be part of the new Curse of Strahd campaign? I'm not sure yet. We're in discussions with the whole cast to find out who will be back for Curse of Strahd, and we will be announcing that in the next couple of weeks, as Curse of Strahd is coming in a month. Folks, as of today, it's a month today. July 16th is the first episode of Curse of Strahd, so... with the Zoom setup you're using now, how do you get the battle cam to show up on the player screens and not switch to who is talking? Yeah, so it's a little complicated. It's a mess right now trying to get it to work, which is why sometimes if somebody drops out of the call, the frames go all nuts, and can't wait to be around the table because it makes more sense. This is what we do. Josh has his phone set up to an arm. I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit here, folks, so you can see. This... here is our overcam. It is an iPhone 7 with a program on it that is connected to our Mimo Live setup. So that is the overcam. It connects through Wi-Fi IP, and it takes a shot of this and then puts it there. Then we have another arm over here that Josh's camera goes into for the players. So this is just on Josh's phone, is just another caller on the call. Which we don't show on screen. Then we have the screen up, the Zoom call screen up on our other laptop, and we screen cap it from our Mimo Live software, pull everyone out, all their frames out along, so that the players at home can just watch the Zoom call with their cam, and then our overcam shows the one that is on screen. That is how we do it. It's complicated and crazy, but that is the method that we use to make it all work. It's crazy. It's nuts. But yeah, it works for us. Simon 1960 says, thanks for keeping it clean. As a pastor, I would not want to be here. I appreciate that, Simon. Those of you that out there may not know that I was actually a youth pastor. I went to Bible college. It feels like a lifetime ago, but I live my life by a certain set of morals and values, and I want to make sure that all of our content kind of follows that. Again, Curse of Strahd gets dark, and our sessions. I mean, Gaziel is she's getting gross and stuff. I didn't expect that from Christina, but I love it. But we want to, as if you were watching an adventure movie. If you were watching Lord of the Rings, if you were watching something like that I feel comfortable kind of watching with my kids who are teenagers, that is the content that we want to create here at RealmSmith. All of the people at the table for this season. Are involved somehow in their church or in their faith, and so that's something that we all hold dear and hold close to our hearts, and it's for us, and we love just being a positive voice in the community. I'll take that out of screen now. Positive voice in the community without any concerns about content, serious dark content, but that's how we kind of hold it. Anyways, Lots of love. We saw that. All right. How do you keep combat interesting? Any tips for DMs who combat has digressed into just slugging it out? It's hard, guys, especially on stream. If you're on the table with your buddies, it's not so big, but I try really hard to make combat not feel like it's just going from initiative step to initiative step, because it gets so daunting and boring. And so I try to narrate most shots that happen. I keep it interesting. A bunch of things. Terrain and environment. Remember that you're fighting in an environment. So use that in your narrative and your description. So, if you're fighting on the snow, if they roll a natural one, they slip on the ice. Things like that really kind of make the whole experience a bit more. This arm is about to fall off the table. I just need to flip it around there. Those sorts of things is what I use to keep it interesting. And just, again, remember, it's all narrative. I make it all narrative. Even combat can be narrative. And it can drag. And so sometimes I kind of have somebody take off. Or if you're down to a couple people and they're having a hard time killing them, then, I find a way to dispatch them quickly. Or they flee, or they try to flee. Again, it's all about narrative and fun and keeping it moving. Another way combat is it's important for me, and you'll notice I do this in the stream all the time, is that when it's somebody's initiative step, I say, it's your step and whoever else is on deck. So you know that the next step is yours, so that they are already preparing their ideas and their combat actions in that time. Prometheus says, what has been the most powerful moment you have experienced while sitting around a D&D table? Wow. That is a great question. Most powerful. Man. DMing Matt Mercer in his own world was like, that was, for me, another milestone for me. That was huge. Incredibly powerful, incredibly humbling, incredibly blessed. Playing at GaryCon last year with Satine Phoenix and Lou Gygax beside me and Stefan DMing, that was huge for me too. Sitting at that table and playing with them was huge. And that again was another kind of milestone for me. I'd say, though, the most powerful moment was our tribute to Todd, our friend, and the ability to get together with our close friends who knew him so close and played week in, week out with him, for him not to be here anymore and us to be able to sit around and narrate us saying goodbye to his character was, I don't think anything will ever beat that. Just the impact that he had on our lives, and then just the feeling, I'm getting goosebumps, just the feeling of family around the table it's huge. Really, really huge. And incredibly impactful and powerful. Can we get the question is, can we get a tour of your mini and terrain collection someday? Absolutely. I'm in the midst of reorganizing everything, so as soon as that is all reorganized and together and put in its proper places, I'll totally give you guys a tour around the studio. That'd be great. I think that's a great idea. Maybe next week. Redbeard76 asks, this group has been the best group I have followed since Matt Mercer's. That means so much, and we've gotten that quite a bit. We've been told that, we're the best thing other than Critical Role, and only thing worth watching since Critical Role and all that stuff. There's tons of great content out there, guys. People make really, really incredible content in this community. I love it, and we follow it, and we support it. But for you guys to compare us to Critical Role is like that's a huge compliment. So I really appreciate that, and we try hard. We really try hard to bring the best possible experience to you folks, and I think you guys notice it. So we thank you for that. How much homebrewing? This is from Leah again. How much homebrewing do you do? Do you prefer a homebrewed setting or a pre-made? I actually have done mostly pre-made. I haven't done a lot of homebrew at all. Actually, I've never homebrewed my own world yet. Interested in doing it one day, maybe, but I'm not interested. I haven't done it yet. We've been homebrewing our own world for our adventure boxes and that whole campaign, but that is predominantly out of the mind of Brandon, and I kind of help him through it. But I do prefer pre-made because of time. So Curse of Strahd is a lot easier to write because it's all there on the pages, and I just adapt it for myself. With this, now I am actually writing a lot more. It's not fully homebrew because I'm still following the Wildemount book, but it's a lot more. Like I've written all of the puzzles in the temple. I've, written all of the encounters. It's all from me. So, with Wildemount as a backdrop. So. I saw a comment come through on the chat that somebody had asked a question, and Shadster said, I wonder if he'll sidestep that question. I will never sidestep a question, folks. I am not afraid. Ask the tough ones, please. B Fisher 13 asks, you've talked about the dice towers that are behind you before. Are those available with RealmSmith logo for us to purchase? That is a great question. A sponsor of last season and a friend of RealmSmith's is Elderwood Academy. Now, Elderwood Academy makes these incredible dice towers. You pop this off, you throw it down there, and you kind of rotate this till it opens, and it is a dice tower, but it is not complete without... I don't know if I have one. Does this one have it in it? It does. So you can also get inside, it's like a scroll case, I guess this is supposed to be like a scroll case, but then this opens up into a dice tray that's magnetic, and you can build it like this. It's a folding dice tray. How cool is that, guys? Elderwood Academy makes incredible stuff. You can go to elderwoodacademy.com. That is the RealmSmith logo. If you wanted a RealmSmith one, so these were custom made for us, but you can do custom stuff, I think, at Elderwood. They'll put your own logo on stuff. If you're interested in doing that, then you can message the mods, and I will get them our logo in like PNG format or whatever they need over there at Elderwood. Actually, they have the files, so you could even contact Elderwood and say, listen, I want a RealmSmith one. Can you guys print me one? And I'm sure they will. It might cost a little bit more because it's custom, but that might definitely be a possibility. So I would check that out. And that's huge. Again, another huge compliment. Thank you. Redbeard says, we need Nora's and Christine's emojis. I know. When we get to partner, we'll add more emojis. Mel is no longer in this campaign for the remainder of this campaign. She posted an official kind of message on her RealmSmith _Melanie Instagram, so you can go there and check that out and follow her and support her. As you all know, she's my girlfriend, and we're doing great. But she just, with all the craziness of getting back to work and everything, this was too much for her, and she wasn't able to kind of invest what she wanted to into it. So she's taking a step back, and she's hoping to come back for Into the Mist. So for that reason, I'll throw in a Gaziel emoji maybe for the last couple episodes of the season. Rabbit Descent asks, do you think the figures and terrain help or hinder? I think I used to play all Theater of the Mind. I think that the terrain and miniatures help me and help the players to get a sense of combat awareness and positional awareness. So you know, when you're theater of the mind, you have to explain exactly where everybody is, and they're like, where am I again? Where am I again? And this gives measurements and distance immediately. I love that for that, and that is why I use it for mostly combat encounters and things like that. If it's just role play, typically I'll just use theater of the mind for that, unless it's like an epic or pinnacle moment in this narrative, then I will do it. But I think it helps, and that's why we use them. David Bastantian says, there is a lot of great D&D content on the internet. Are there any areas where you think the community is lacking? Is there some content you'd like to do more of or see more of? Okay, great question. And the answer to that is what I'd like to see more of is interactive streams. We didn't, as far as we knew, there wasn't anything like what we're doing out there in the D&D world. And frankly, we wanted to make our stream the first to do that. We wanted to be the first fully interactive stream where players are doing things that affect the stream affects the players, and viewers affect the stream, and the stream affects viewers, and you have a whole community that's built, and you guys can actually interact in the stream through bits and stuff. We wanted that. I wanted to see that, and we've done it. And so I would say that was the one thing I think was lacking in this community, in this industry. And I like to think that we're one of the people or the folks that have kind of started that train down the track. So you guys are great. This is a comment from Kraken Slayer 83. You guys are great. This brings D&D to a new level and interactive. Love it. You're so welcome, and thank you. It means so much to us. I can't tell you how much everything means, and you guys being involved just blows us out of the water every single week. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Shad says, this is the question I said you would sidestep. Here you go. Bring it. Athenair asks, will the enemy in the finale come in waves like last time? I don't want to blow all my bits at once if it gets harder later. I want to ensure we crush our enemies. So I see why you think I'd sidestep it. And I'm going to do some sidestepping. Well, not necessarily sidestepping. Well, what I will say is this. It'll be different than there will be... how do I say this? There will be a clear and present enemy that will not increase, if that makes sense. It will be different, and you will know what to do and when to do it a lot better than in the finale. So that's my answer. Comment from Sidifar. Hugs Jason. Powerful moment indeed. Watched that video a couple of times, and it's amazing the power of the emotions. Yeah, I watched it back for the first time around the time of Todd's the anniversary of his passing, and I watched it back, and it's hard to watch. And just to watch all of my friends so broken. But I think it was important for us to say that. I think it's important for the community. Every week we get more comments and messages about how people have dark times, and our stream helps them get through another week. So I think it's incredibly important to talk about these things. Thank you, Sidfar. There is a person in the stream. Oh, this is from Deacon Blues Hamilton. There is a person in the stream, Rabbit Descent, who watched their very first live D&D stream with last night's stream. What? Rabbit Descent, I thank you so much for allowing us to be your guinea pig, I guess, or your first time. Thank you so much. That means so much for us. It's such an honor to hear that kind of stuff. It's great. Night Road asks, best favorite familiar? Why? I haven't had any familiars as characters. I don't play spellcasters, so... But I'll have to think about my favorite that I've ever seen. I do love Caleb's cat in the Mighty Nine Critical Role. I think he plays that very well. But I'll have to think that through. Leah asks, or this is Leah's comment, if you ever need help in homebrew, I'm your huckleberry. Homebrewing for 42 years this August. That means a lot, and that is really great. And congratulations on being in the hobby that long. That is incredible. Thank you for saying that. Siren89 asks, as a player and DM, how do you feel about using Unearthed Arcana in games? I'm great with it. We're using Unearthed Arcana right now with Bolt and his Artificer specialty. The Armorer is an Unearthed Arcana thing. We used Unearthed Arcana with Todd's character, McGill. I'm cool with it. Why not? It's there. It's available. Maybe it gets changed and then we adjust. Maybe. But if it's available in D&D Beyond, we're good with it. Question from Kraken Slayer that's totally unrelated. But I have a player that wants to play a troll during a campaign. Would this work? The question for me always is power level. So I've had people ask me if they can play monstrous races, minotaurs, things like that. For a first level party, a troll will probably be too much because I think CR on a troll, let me see. Troll, CR on a troll, so the challenge rating, I should say, on a troll is 5. So it is a worthy adversary of a party of 4 at 5th level. So I would say a troll is too powerful, but maybe it's an aged troll or it's a young troll and it hasn't quite gotten to its power level yet. I would even homebrew a monster race for that character if they wanted to play a troll-like character. Or a half troll. If there's half orcs, why aren't there half trolls? I always love to do what I can to help a player play what they want to play, if it's at all within the possibility of doing that. So I would say find a way to do it and make that character happy. Why not? That's how I play my game. Michael2472. I'm going to take a couple more here and then we will call it because we're 3 minutes from ending here. Just got a gargantuan skeletal dragon. They're awesome. Think you could paint it on a tutorial day. Also have been enjoying your campaign streaming. Thank you, Michael. I can't paint anything that's not Nolzur's. I think that's a Pathfinder mini, but maybe I'll paint it elsewhere. I'll find a way maybe to paint it off stream. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was your first time watching RealmSmith, not watching a live stream. The mods are saying sorry. Lela Lines also watched their first stream, which is great. Awesome. I just love that we're some people's first, view of sometimes D&D period. And which is amazing, but also first stream is pretty amazing too. Okay, this is the last question I'll take here from Mazmas. Oh, two more questions. Okay, he said tough questions. I do. I love the what were you thinking during that time? And that was a wrong rule, and you played that wrong. Why did you do it that way? Please, I love those questions. I will not sidestep them. Please, please, please. There are several people involved in helping create your content in front and behind the camera. Is this a mostly passion project for all involved, or have you figured out how to make a sustainable business with your relatively small size? Great question, Masmus. It takes resources to do this and time. Unfortunately, up to recently, we didn't have sponsors and stuff for our streams. So our box business was the only thing really sustaining our company. Once we started getting sponsors on, then we came up with a means of which to at least do something for our players. So, and I'll be totally honest that we are sharing some of the sponsorship money that comes in based on a portion or percentage with the players at the table as we move forward. That's all I'll say. It is hard to run a business this size. You have to keep it lean, but it also this streaming business, once you have the equipment, then you go. And you can create content forever. So in that case, it's important to make sure that our players feel like they're valued. And even though we can't necessarily always pay them what we'd like to at this point, we'll get there one day, hopefully, like to at this point, we want to give them something. It's important. And the same way that we want to give our subscribers more value than just being able to watch us do what we do, if that makes sense. Last question from Roman Wolf. Why did you choose Darktoe and the Revelry out of the Explorer's Guide rather than somewhere else and another faction? Good question. I think Wildemount. First of all, we've never really done pirates before. We've done ship battles in Storm King's Thunder, but I love the whole idea of like the Pirates of the Caribbean sort of coastal adventuring thing. And we had never done real pirates before, so I really wanted to go that way. And I feel like Wildemount is kind of, the Menagerie Coast is that. So I chose the Menagerie Coast. And then when we decided, we were like, hey, how can we kind of involve people? It was around the whole Clovis Concord battle. And we were like, wait a second. What if we did this? And what if we did that? And then it just happened kind of organically. So I didn't necessarily choose the Revelry. But I did choose the Menagerie Coast to start it because I thought it was the most interesting for me and my players, and was very different from Into the Mist. We could have gone into the north area, we could have gone into Jorhas, but that all feels like a regular D&D to me. I wanted something different and a bit of a departure so that the seasons feel quite different to me. That is it. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. It's been another awesome episode. I haven't done a full Q&A, and I can tell that you guys have had some burning questions going. Players Table is on Thursday with Joel. Sunday, I will be painting, like I said, with Ethan, my son, for Father's Day stream for Nolzur's Marvelous Tutorials with RealmSmith. Very excited about that. And it'll be nice to kind of be painting together at this table with him and I. And he's a great painter, really great. And then we're back for episode 12, second last episode of Tides of Wildemount on Monday. It's going to be a blast. They are now in the temple currently. They're actually in here. Like this is like Bolt is in the temple, and here's Snow. They're all in the temple of Uk'otoa. So they will continue to descend into that temple over the next episode. And then we're on to our finale. So thank you, folks. Get your bits and fingers ready for that finale. We'll be announcing more on that soon. And again, guys, I cannot thank you enough for the incredible community that you guys have become and are. The way that you support us, the way that you watch all of our content and are on that Discord always. Thank you so much. And I can't thank you enough, guys. There's nothing else on the face of this planet, and I'm totally honest, that I would rather be doing than this. And you guys make that possible. So thank you so much. You guys have a wonderful night. Be safe, stay safe, and we'll see you on Thursday for Players Table. Take care, guys. Bye.